It was brilliant.
Yeah,
yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it on the road in America?
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much
How
so.
did the American audience compare with the British audiences?
Well, they're a lot bigger for a start, you know. Like, say we're playing like the Apollo in America. There's just big sports arenas and there's a lot more people. So there's that. That's the main difference, really.
I suppose when you get that many people together, they sort of, I don't know. Everybody seems to go mad. You know, it's like jumping up and down on seats and all kinds of stuff.
Now you're not a Yorkshireman, obviously, are you?
I'm actually from Derbyshire.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm
Derbyshire,
from Drumfield.
Yeah.
But my accent's all over the place.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
You're a Londoner, Phil, aren't
Yeah.
you? Yeah, yeah. And the other boys, the other
they're all from Sheffield. All the rest from Sheffield.
Yorkshire born and bred.
Yeah.
Lad.
I love.
All right. There's obviously been a couple of delays getting the new album out, and the first, of course, with Your Arm. I bet you're absolutely sick and tired of this, aren't you?
No, not really. No, I mean it's it's nice. It's nice that people sort of appreciate it, and I mean it's kind of a compliment that people bring it up, But within the band, I'm just the drummer now.
You're just the drummer. Yeah.
Yeah, and
yeah.
if I'm doing something wrong, say playing too slow or too quick or not playing it as well as what they think I can, I'll get criticised for it just the same as what I used to before.
Yeah.
Which is the only way I'm going to improve,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great. The old drum kit's working out fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. You tried several producers, of course, with getting Hysteria together. I mean, Mutt obviously was the first choice.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be going on this some sort of fishing expedition. He wanted to leave everything alone for a moment, didn't he?
Well, I wouldn't say fishing. He's not really a fisherman or anything. But he'd just done the Cars album, and he was like really tired because he spends a lot of time in the studio, as you know.
Yeah.
And he couldn't handle going back in the studio again for another what would have been a year or whatever. So we thought, well, we've got to do an album now. So we'll see who's available, and the only person available was Jim Steinman. And we went, and that didn't work out at all, really. So we scrapped all the music, started again with ourselves and engineer Nigel Green, and it still weren't how we wanted it to sound. And then after all this, about a year later, Matt said, well, I'll become involved in it again, just slightly just want to do the vocals, make sure that the sound's right and everything. And in the end, he ended up doing it all again.
Yeah, great. Yeah, because it's rather funny, because AC/DC used to use him. They used him for numerous albums, or should I say, probably their best albums.
Absolutely.
They decided to want to produce their own stuff. I noticed the Cars have produced their album Door to Door themselves too.
Right. Yeah.
But Mutt has some sort of... I believe he's fabulous. He insists in doing sort of like backing vocals, and I believe he insists in doing everything, doesn't he? In fact,
He just gets involved in every aspect of the album, really.
He's definitely the best producer around.
Yeah. The guitar sounds are totally unique, aren't they, to any other band? I don't know any other band. But also the drum sound as well. It's also like it's done in an echo chamber to a certain... The sort of zonk bit.
There's a lot of layering that goes on, not only with the guitars. Like some of the guitar sounds you'll find are built up of maybe 4 or 5 different guitars, all being played sort of over the top of each other.
Over like a delay system type thing, is it? Or
well, but basically like orchestrate some of them. Sometimes there's like 16 or 18 guitar parts, like you'd have violins or something and an orchestra and cellos and things. That's what we do with the guitars, basically, to make it kind of sound... Well, we make it sound like one guitar, but it's in fact loads.
It's sort of larger than life,
It is, It sounds that way too. It's great, Were you getting totally pissed off with waiting for the album to eventually surface?
We actually got depressed and everything at one point, but then after a while we thought, well, it's got to be right, otherwise there's no point in releasing it. If you're going to do something, you've got to do your best. So we just went along with it. We were so deep into it by that time. We thought all our fans have probably gone anyway. It's going to be a totally new lot of fans.
Quite nice. That's what Bon Jovi's going to have to do. Take a complete break, hasn't he, for about 12 months or something like that.
I would say so.
Just keep away out of the road for a bit. Yeah. So when you did Donington last year, how far had you actually got with the album?
We'd almost done most of the backing tracks, not all of it. In fact, no, we'd done about 7 songs, 7 or 8, and some of the lead vocals needed to be doing. But we really felt that we needed to go on tour, on the road, you know, because we are a live band, really, you know. That's why we all got into the music business in the first place, to play live. And we thought, let's go for it. And Rick wanted to try his new kit out as well.
Sure.
And it worked out a treat. It was the best thing we done, you know, because we came back into the studio and we were all refreshed and everything. So it did
almost like starting again. Yeah. Do you like studio work?
Not really. I mean, it can be fun, but you know, we spent too much time in there, and you go a bit stir crazy. It's like being in a clinker.
Well, about you, Rick, it must have been pretty traumatic. Although, if you're doing studio work, it doesn't matter how many mistakes you make, because you can always sort of set the old tape going again. What about you?
That's true. I actually used quite a few machines on this record, because I didn't want to. I don't know, the sounds that I was getting on the drums at the time, they weren't right. So I just sort of played a few of the cymbal parts and what have you, and played most of the drums on a machine.
Yeah.
But
what about when you went on stage at Donington then? That must have been pretty traumatic, because you were going to use 2 drummers, weren't you?
Well, we were, but that didn't quite work out because for one reason or another, the drummer, we couldn't fit him on stage one night because the stage was too small. So they ended up just setting my drum kit up. So he came up afterwards and sort of said, well, I guess I'm going home tomorrow then. So that was, he kind of, you know, gave it his blessing.
Yeah.
But Donington worked out great.
When the album was released, did you feel a bit anticipant about, oh God, I wonder what the press reviews are going to be like?
No, we'd been through so much on the album that it was like, well, it's in the lap of the gods. We've done what we could, done our best, so we just let it be released. That was it.
Yeah. And the reviews were good?
They were great, yeah.
Were they good in America and on the continent and Japan and that?
Yeah, it's been pretty much worldwide. In fact, what really surprised us, apart from the #1 album in England, it was like #1 in Norway, still is, and Switzerland, Germany, everywhere. It's kind of, we never got in any charts before. So it's really kind of...
Well, you had in America, haven't you?
Oh, well, apart from America, yeah. America and Canada were like the only places that we got played before, and it's really weird. But you know, we're not complaining at all.
No, you're on the British tour at the moment. What's the reaction so far, Rick?
Well, it's really good.
Good.
It's like it's better than ever before.
So quite at long last, England starts to recognise Def Leppard.
Yeah,
it's a case of almost sort of running after the gates being shut, isn't it?
Yeah.
But still.
Before it was like there were people coming up to us saying, you guys are American, aren't you? And we're like, no.
It was like that gig we did at Edinburgh. We done it on the Pyromania tour, and we got 650 people in. This time it was the first gig that sold out, and it was like 3,500, and it actually sold out before the album was released, I think.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow, I don't know why, but it's great.
So where do you go after the UK then?
To the States.
Yeah?
Yeah, we finish up in Sheffield, didn't we?
On the 17th.
And then it's straight out to the States, and we play there till the end of the year. And then back to Europe, and we keep hopping around all over the world.
That's a good idea.
Then back to the States.
Yeah.
Maybe back in England again next year.
In fact, the next thing might be a good idea whilst you're on tour, and when the set gets really, really tight, is to maybe do a live album, record a live album, get a mobile in or something like that. Could be fun.
Yeah, we may do that actually. We may record some live stuff. It would be a laugh.
Cheers, Rick.
Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot, Phil.
Cheers, thanks.